Hey guys and girls, it's your boy James with a vlog bigger, better than last one. So apologies for not being around yesterday. I mean, it seems quite a long time since I actually vlogged, but I was in a lot of pain. So basically, a couple of days ago, I got a really bad cramp in my calf, and then obviously the cramp went, but then the lingering effect then kicked in, and then it was like the next day I couldn't walk properly. I mean, I was struggling to go down the stairs. I was struggling to even put pressure on my left leg because my knee kept like buckling under the pressure. So, I mean, it's all right now. I've iced it up pretty well for like 24 hours or something around that length of period. So that's the reason why I didn't vlog yesterday. I mean, the pain is there, but it's not as excruciating as well, definitely yesterday. I mean, yesterday I even was the pain was unbearable. So I mean, I'm not sure how I got cramp. I mean, I think the problem is what happens is my leg twitches, and then I obviously contract it, and obviously then it doesn't relax, and then you're in a lot of pain basically. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to review a few football matches that happened yesterday. And then I'll go back on my past predictions that I did, and then I'm going to talk about the game tomorrow, which is Norwich versus Southampton. Also, we have football tonight on the Sky. It's the League Two playoff semi-final. So I'll review that. So yeah, let's get on with it. So the first game I'm going to review is the first game, which was broadcast on Sky. Which was Aston Villa versus Sheffield United, which ending at a 0-0 draw. Now, I actually predicted, I think, a Sheffield United win, so Aston Villa did really well there. I mean, Sheffield United did have a goal disallowed. I mean, in my view, the goal should have stood because the ball was clearly over the line, and all footballs have this type of device in there where it sends a signal to the referee's watch, which means goal, so I can't work out why that wasn't given. So, yeah, I mean, you can clearly... Well, basically, the goalkeeper was in the side netting. Obviously, behind the line, the ball is in his arm, and he's like that. And it's clearly over the line, so God knows how nobody picked that up. So I think Sheffield United were robbed there. So that obviously could have been a big, big boost for their, Champions League credentials. So you add two extra points, they would have gone into fifth, which would have been a Champions League spot, because obviously Man City aren't going to be in there next season. So obviously, but a point is not a bad result. It keeps them in contention with Manchester United. Obviously 4 points behind Chelsea in fourth, but like I said, fifth is the new fourth now. So obviously they're still in with a shout. And then if we go down to Aston Villa, so they are 19th on 26 points. So if they had won, they would have leapfrogged out the relegation zone, which for Aston Villa is it's an absolute must that they survive the Premier League season, especially coming out of it, because they spent about well over 100 million of their budget when they got promoted from the Championship. So, I mean, if they go down, they're going to be losing some top quality players like Grealish, Mings, a few others who are on top wages. I mean, you ain't going to pay those sorts of wages in the Championship, I tell you. So that could be a bit of a blunder for Villa. I think they needed to win that game, especially being at home with no fans there, no added pressure, I would say. But I think they got out lucky there. That goal should have stood. So that's what I thought on that game. So now we move on to the next game, which was Manchester City versus Arsenal. Now, obviously, like I said, there's been no football being played for like 100 days. I mean, yeah, they've played all these like mini pre-season friendlies or whatever you want to call them these days. Obviously, Arsenal going into the game after being beaten by Brentford at the Emirates, so that's not really a good start. So obviously it was 0-0 going into the 47th minute when Manchester City scored before half-time, courtesy of a David Luiz mistake, ironically. And obviously, Man City won 3-0 overall, but it was kind of over. I mean, David Luiz got himself sent off. So Arsenal have got some real big. I mean, they've got 3 players definitely out in the next game, which is, I think it was Cedric Soares, Xhaka is out, and David Luiz is, a straight red's like a 3-match ban, and obviously with only 9 games to go, so that's going to be a big blow. And obviously if we look at the league table, so Man City, obviously it's still mathematically possible that they can win the league, but it's not going to happen. Liverpool just need to win 2 out of the remaining 9. They play Everton on Sunday. Obviously that could have been, if Arsenal had either beaten them or drawn against them, that could have been a game where Liverpool only had to win 1 game. But as it stands, now Liverpool have to win 2, but it's still probably going to be, it's going to be probably the next 2 games I'm predicting. So if we look, so obviously Man City second, but like I said, they're not going to qualify for Champions League because obviously the financial fair play ban. And Arsenal sitting in 9th, a point ahead of Burnley and Crystal Palace in 10th and 11th, which is quite dangerous because they win the next games, Burnley and Palace, they overtake them, and Arsenal could be really, really staring at a very poor season. I mean, I think they've already had a poor season anyway, and I think they just want the season over with to rebuild. And if you're an Arsenal fan, let me know about the game that just happened, and obviously the whole season in general. Where do you think you've gone wrong, and what do you think you need to do in the summer? So obviously they're sitting in 9th. They are 5 points off United, who are sitting in that 5th spot. Like I said, 5th's the new 4th. So they're not a million miles out of the way. I think they played Man City. Well, then again, playing a team at the right time now is like, there's form's gone out the window here, but I think Man City were definitely up for it. And then, Arsenal got battered. I mean, they played really well. I mean, I was watching AFTV yesterday and listening to some of their responses that they held their own for like a good period of the first half, and then obviously once that first goal went in, and then David Luiz getting sent off just after half time, and then City just controlled the game, just absolutely obliterated Arsenal. So let me know what you think of that. Sorry, just before I continue on to the next topic, which will be Norwich versus Southampton. It wasn't Cedric Soares, it was Pablo Mari, who was only making his 2nd game. He's the player that they brought in on loan, I think in January. I think So that's obviously who he came on for. So he came on in the 23rd minute, David Luiz, and obviously he didn't last very long, 26 minutes in total, and getting sent off after coming on from a substitute bench. Not a good restart for him, but he said he's hoping to restart. Now, I'm not being funny, he needed to hit the ground running because he was under enormous pressure to Arsenal are under enormous pressure, and so is he, because he could be gone in the summer. So now let's get into the Norwich City Southampton game, which is the next game, live on Sky, and also probably other devices like Freeview and all that kind of stuff, probably on there at some point. I know BBC have got a few games on. So Norwich versus Southampton. Now this is a game where I think, if memory serves me right, Southampton are alright. They are in 14th. I mean, they've only won in the last 5, but obviously, like I said, form's gone out the window because, you can't predict anything. Norwich are obviously 6 points away from safety. So, I mean, I would say the pressure's a bit off, really, because nobody's expecting Norwich to even get out of this scenario. So, I think all the pressure's going to be on the teams above them, which is Villa, Bournemouth, Watford, West Ham, Brighton, those types of teams. I think Southampton are the one above Brighton, but they're fair few points. They're 7 points from clear from safety. So I think it's all on those other teams, really. I mean, Aston Villa definitely missed a trick there. They should have won that game, even though they probably deserved the point, but because obviously the Sheffield United goal was disallowed. They got off lucky there, but they needed to win that one. So obviously, if Norwich win, they still stay bottom, but they move one step closer. Obviously, if they win that game, that gives them a huge confidence boost for the next remaining 8 games after that. Let's not forget they're still in the FA Cup. The FA Cup is still going ahead, which is, I think, a good move. I mean, I'm not sure about how they're going to fit all these games in. With obviously, I think the European football's still going on and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not sure how that would work because France and Holland have suspended all their leagues indefinitely. Obviously, the only leagues that are going ahead that I can think of are Germany, Spain, Italy, and us. I think every other league has suspended their leagues. Not sure if Portugal's going ahead, but so obviously Southampton win that, they'll be 10 points clear. Norwich need to win that game just to have a bit of hope. If they draw, I think they're down. If they lose, definitely down. But football's a strange game, a lot can happen. So that is my football review. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Let me know down in the comments who you support, and I'll try and review them in the next one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go on Twitch and just check it out. I mean, like I said, I haven't been on anything like that for quite a while because obviously my leg was in a lot of pain. So yeah, I guess we'll do some of that. So guys, just got back home, had my tea. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the vlog. I'm going to start my live stream soon. So that'll be soon. So once again, thank you for viewing in, liking, comment down below what you think, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.